He rescued a German Shepherd puppy. Realizes too late it's not a dog. Jason had been driving to work when Jason first saw the small shivering German Shepherd puppy lying by the side of the road. The poor creature was abandoned, covered in dirt and grime, its fur matted, and its tiny body trembling in the cold breeze. His heart stopped when he saw the puppy, barely able to move, staring at him with pleading eyes. Without a second thought, Jason pulled over, his heart racing. He got out of the car slowly, approaching the frightened puppy. It didn't bark or growl, it just looked up at him, its big eyes filled with trust and fear. Kneeling down, Jason spoke gently, "It's okay, little one, I've got you." The puppy barely moved, but it didn't try to run away. Jason carefully picked it up, cradling the fragile creature in his arms. He knew right then that he couldn't leave it there. He couldn't just let it suffer. Jason made a promise to the puppy, vowing to give it the love and care it deserved. As he drove back home, he felt a sense of warmth wash over him. He had just rescued a new companion. When Jason got home, he gently placed the puppy on the floor, watching as it shakily stood up on its little legs. He couldn't help but smile at the sight. The puppy was beautiful. Its fur was still a bit dirty, but Jason could already see the potential. It had a stunning coat, a mix of rich browns and blacks, with bright, intelligent eyes that seemed to be studying him. Jason crouched down, offering the puppy a bowl of water. In those first few days, Jason noticed the puppy's natural grace. It was quick to learn simple commands like sit and stay, and it seemed to be unusually well behaved for such a young dog. Jason named it Max, after his favorite childhood dog, and the bond they formed was instant. Max would follow him everywhere, even curling up by his feet when Jason sat on the couch. Jason began to fall in love with the puppy more and more every day. Max had an undeniable loyalty, always by Jason's side, whether he was working or just relaxing at home. Jason marveled at how smart and loving the puppy was. He'd always wanted a German Shepherd, and Max seemed like the perfect companion, but there was something that Jason couldn't shake. It was a feeling, a small nagging doubt in the back of his mind, though he couldn't quite pinpoint what it was. As the days went by, Max's behavior began to change, and Jason started to notice some strange things. At first it was subtle, a small growl when someone knocked at the door, a sudden hesitation when walking past certain objects. Jason thought nothing of it, chalking it up to the puppy's natural curiosity and adjusting to his new surroundings. After all, Max was still very young, and new experiences could be overwhelming. But then things took a darker turn. One evening, Jason had a friend over for dinner. As they sat in the living room chatting, Max, who had always been calm around guests, started to growl softly under his breath. Jason dismissed it at first, but then the growl grew louder, more intense. Max stood rigidly, his eyes fixed on the doorway, as if something had triggered his protective instincts. Jason's friend, confused and slightly concerned, asked, "Is he all right?" Max's behavior seemed to intensify every time someone walked into the house. Jason tried to calm him down, but the growls wouldn't stop. It was as if Max was guarding something, but Jason couldn't understand why. Was this a protective trait of the breed, or was something else going on? His instincts told him to be cautious, but he couldn't yet make sense of the situation. Little did he know Max's strange behavior was just the beginning. Jason's unease grew with every passing day. Max's behavior was becoming more erratic, the growling, the pacing, the constant vigilance. It was all adding up to something Jason couldn't quite pinpoint. He began to feel like there was something more to Max than just an ordinary German Shepherd puppy, something deeper, something darker. Jason's concern reached a boiling point. It was clear that something wasn't right, so he decided to take Max to the vet for A thorough checkup he had to get to the bottom of it. The vet took one look at Max, raised an eyebrow and said, "This isn't a normal puppy, Jason." The words hit Jason like a ton of bricks. What did she mean? Was Max really a German shepherd, or was something else going on that he couldn't even imagine? The revelation was about to hit him harder than he could have ever anticipated. Jason stood frozen in the vet's office, staring at the woman who had just spoken those chilling words. "This isn't a normal puppy." The words echoed in his mind, but he couldn't make sense of them. He looked down at Max, still sitting at his feet, looking up at him with those big brown eyes. Max didn't seem out of place. He was the same playful, energetic pup that Jason had rescued just a week ago. The vet continued, her voice calm but firm. "Jason, I'm going to be straight with you. This isn't a German shepherd, it's a wolf hybrid." Jason's heart skipped a beat. A wolf hybrid. His mind raced, trying to piece everything together. The strange behavior, the unnatural growls, the way Max seemed almost wild. He had been so focused on the fact that Max was just a puppy that he never once questioned what he was truly bringing into his home. The vet's face softened as she saw the shock on Jason's face. It's a rare breed, but they do exist, and it's not always easy to tell the difference when they're puppies. You're going to need to be very careful. Jason felt like the floor had been ripped from under him. A wolf? Could he really have brought a wild animal into his home? The weight of the truth was suffocating. Jason sat in silence that night, Max curled up at his feet, unaware of the heavy decision his human was wrestling with. The bond they had formed wasn't just companionship, it was trust, love, and something unspoken. But now, knowing what Max truly was, Jason faced a heart-wrenching choice. Could he keep a wolf hybrid in a suburban neighborhood? Could he risk the safety of others, even unintentionally? The next morning, Jason met again with Dr. McCoy, who had already contacted a licensed wildlife sanctuary located miles away in Montana. He'll be safe there, she assured him. They have acres of land, trained professionals, and other hybrids like Max. He won't be alone. Saying goodbye was the hardest part. As Jason knelt beside Max, the animals seemed to sense something was different. He looked at Jason with those piercing eyes, the same ones that once reflected fear, now filled with loyalty. "I love you, buddy," Jason whispered, his voice cracking. "You saved me in ways I didn't know I needed. Now it's my turn to protect you." With one final nuzzle, Max was led into the transport crate. Jason stood there for a long time, watching the van disappear down the road, heartbroken, but knowing he'd done the right thing. Weeks passed, but Max never left Jason's thoughts. Rescuing Max had taught him more than he could have imagined. Love wasn't always what it seemed. Sometimes it came in forms we didn't expect. Sometimes it came wrapped in mystery, wildness, and risk, but it was real and worth it. If this story inspired you, hit like, share it, and subscribe so you never miss a video. Tell us what you think in the comments. We're listening.